Hi, everybody. Welcome to more Political Excess. This time, let's look at the state legislature redistricting a little bit. Now, it doesn't get as much attention as the congressional redistricting, but it's a similar process. States are redrawing lines, and of course, both parties want to have an advantage where possible. So, a little bit of news first here out of Wisconsin. The state Supreme Court ruled 4-3 to adopt the Republican plan for the state legislature. That was tied up in the courts. It went back and forth, but it appears the Republican advantage will be solidified there for this next 10 years. Now, in Wyoming, they have added one state senator and two House members to their state legislature. And in West Virginia, they are switching to single member districts. So that's a little bit of interesting news in some random states. Now, as far as the overall redistricting for state legislature, there's a lot of states. It's hard to get this information in a concise manner, but 538 does go a little bit into some of these states. We could take a look at that. I'll put some links below where you can get more of the information for each state. And the state legislators are important, of course, because they could affect the next redistricting cycle, as well as determine the legislative agendas for each state over the next decade. So let's have a look at what 538 says. They do not list every state, of course. They leave out some big ones and some bad ones. I will put some links below where you can check out more maps for yourself. It would take too long to go over each state, of course, so we're going to go over real quick the highlights, what they have on here. And another thing to keep in mind is their safe seats are 15 or more points partisan lean. So the states where it was uncompetitive before and after redistricting, Georgia, that had a Republican advantage, and that appears to not be changing. It appears to be unlikely the Democrats would be able to flip the state Senate or the state House. Florida, their state Senate, that was a Republican lean there. That got more Republican. They should be able to hold that fairly easily. The state House actually does not appear to be that much of a change, but it does have a Republican advantage. States that got less competitive after redistricting. They have Texas, their House. It appears Republicans shored up their seats there to make it unlikely the Democrats will be able to flip that chamber. Now, the states where it got more competitive after redistricting. Michigan, their state Senate, that had a Republican advantage. That advantage got much more reduced this cycle. It is possible the Democrats could flip the state Senate in Michigan, as well as the state House. It has that Republican advantage, but it is reduced from the previous cycle. Pennsylvania, their state House, similar to Michigan, it does give the Democrats a chance to flip that chamber. It has a Republican lean, I'd say. Maybe a tilt, but the Democrats are not shut out there. North Carolina, their state Senate, that got a little bit actually less Republican. It's very similar, though. Republicans should be able to hold that, but in a blue wave, Democrats could potentially pick up that chamber, similar in the North Carolina House. In Colorado, their state Senate got a little less Democratic. Republicans do have an outside chance to potentially flip that chamber in a big red wave. Similar in the House, a little tougher there, but they could potentially pick that up. There are a lot of competitive seats in Colorado, state Senate, and the state House. Now, the states where it was competitive already before and now continues to be competitive after redistricting. Maine, both parties do have a chance to pick up that chamber there in the state Senate and the state House. In Minnesota, the state Senate there, that is up for grabs by either party. Same with the Minnesota state House. Pennsylvania, their state Senate, that appears to be, similarly competitive, but it does have a Republican advantage, according to what I'm seeing right here. But Democrats could flip that in a favorable blue environment. In Virginia, That appears to be very similar, a little bit of a Democratic tilt to lean. Republicans could maybe flip that with a lot of momentum, and the same thing in the Virginia House. In Nevada, the Democrats have an advantage there. Republicans do have a small chance to flip the Nevada House and the Nevada Senate. And then finally here, Arizona, that already had a Republican advantage. There's less safe seats, but Republicans should be able to hold Arizona there. So that's what 538 has. Of course, there's plenty of states they leave out. South Carolina, Illinois, Washington, New York, etc. So that's a bit of an overview. Let me know what you think of the state legislator redistricting process. Which states are you surprised by? Do you follow this stuff? Please let me know down below in the comments. And if you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next video.